All right, I said I would, in my last video, talk about the fat assassins. Now, I typically get the black or the white, but the water's pretty muddy lately in Scottsdale, where a couple ponds where I go. So black would work pretty decently, but I wanted to do hot pink, and I did take the rig. Unfortunately, Pansassin is down with a broken guide at the rod tip. The guide itself has a chip in it, and it's coring my 2-pound line. I was wondering why my 2-pound line was like really breaking down quick, getting the pigtails in it, and it was because it was going through this crack. I knew there was something going on, I just couldn't figure it out. Well, now I know. I've alerted my rod builder on, excuse me for a second. Yeah, that's better. On Facebook Messenger, and I'm hoping by next weekend I can get that fixed. Until then, I'm just using Nedscalibur, which is my medium light North Fork Blank built micro guide finesse rod. It is more than capable enough for big fish or big fish get on, or any size slabber, and still put up a decent fight on that rod. So I am perfectly good with using that and keeping Pansassin to the side. As much as I love tossing Pansassin as a rig, especially with brand new line and a brand new reel, I realized the reality is I could go to Big Five and pick up a $30 to $40 rod and be just fine, but I don't want to do that. And that's in the future for getting another crappie rod, and it'll be a 9 to 11 footer at that point. So Pansassin's down, and tomorrow I'm going with that rod with my friend Chris back to where I was, this time with the cast net. I have a long leadered double drop shot slip bobber rig on Nedscalibur now. It is about 8 to 10 inches between the two hooks. They're size 2 mosquito light owners. I have them put on with a pro shot knot, which is basically making a single loop and then folding the hook through it, oriented upwards obviously, anywhere from 5 to 10 times depending on the diameter of the line. I chose for 7 for each. It gets plenty of buildup on both sides. It holds the hook at a slight angle but straight out, which means that the shad, when they're on, will look natural in presentation. I have 10 inches to tag end, which will have a 1/8 teardrop drop shot weight. And then I have my size 4 ESB slip bobber, which I have repainted this evening and coated with, what is this called? Backcountry Laboratories version of Hard as Nails, called Hard as Hell, or Hard as Hole. It is a head cement, and acrylic polymers are in it. Now, the thing with that slip bobber, the automotive bumper foam lends itself well to being repainted with nail polish or spray paint, but I use Hard as Nails because it's a great hard coating that it resists, like if you hit it up against rocks and stuff, peeling off. Typically do that when I first get ESBs. I did not do that with this one. It wore the paint pretty thin pretty quick. But the red nail polish that I put on that my roommate let me use is phenomenal. It's a little bit darker than I'm used to, but I can see it really well. And it's ready to rock. It's in the car waiting. I've got extra leader spool sitting in there. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I wanted to showcase, now that I'm done with that, the Eurotackle Fat Assassin. Now this one is just called Pink. They're only $3.99 at Copper State. It is a true pink, and it is semi-transparent, translucent. But you'll notice if you look at it close that it's got these ridges. So it's not it's a body, but not in the conventional sense. But what it allows for this thing to do is when you have it on a drop shot hook, this whole thing is wiggling the whole time. I did get bluegill on this in the past with the black and the white. I did get one rather robust hit off this on Indian School Park. I did not set the hook right. One thing I have done with these things in the past is taken a pair of scissors, and if you look real close, you can see how it's got that core, okay? Well, I've taken this head and cut it right about midpoint like that and shaved these fins off to where it's a tail, so it's almost like a stinger, but it's from this body, and it's very flexible, even at that small of a presentation size. Really, really good for bluegill. But these hot pink, it's a great color. Their movement in the water is phenomenal. They lend themselves really kick ass to a drop shot. I don't know that I would put them on a jig head. I've seen them used that way in rivers. They've worked just fine for the people that have used them. Their packaging is fantastic. There's really nothing negative that I can say about this bait. It is pheromone infused, which is not a scent. And I don't know, I kind of have a lot of faith in them. A couple years ago when I first started using them, I was beating the snot out of red hair with the black ones, but I put a long leader on so that it was suspended in the water column, because red hair sunfish, despite the fact that they feed on the bottom and eat, they're called shell crackers for a reason. They eat snails and other stuff like that. They've eaten crawdads. I mean, they got these crushers in the back of their mouth. They can crush shell real easily. They're actually really tough fish. And they were loaded for a couple years in this Dobson pond that I fished on a regular basis most of my life. But for some reason, Dobson Ranch has seen fit to not properly take care of the ponds, and that pond had the double algae bloom a couple years ago and has not been the same since. I have not seen anything but small bluegill. I've not caught a single crappie out of it. I've not caught a single bass out of it. I've not caught a single bluegill, but I have seen a couple fish. I've not seen any catfish. I've only seen some grass carp. It's a very sad state of affairs, because it used to be the best lake in Dobson Ranch. Now Lake 1, which is the other big one, is okay, but it's by no means phenomenal either. And it's just really sad, because I grew up fishing those ponds. And if they really did what they should do, it would be a lot better, and it would have never gotten to where it is now. But the black and white versions of these are what I used on that Lake 7 and got huge red hair. If you go look back in my posts on my Facebook years, you'll see that I've got some huge red hair. I mean, 2.5 pound. I mean, they were huge. They're not supposed to be like that in these ponds in the valley, but guess what? They're that big. But they're not there anymore. They had a massive fish kill. I've not seen a single fish that I would fish for in those ponds. But these fat assassins, in tandem by themselves, I've seen people put them on the Z-Man microfinesse minnow heads and the net heads to great effect. I've seen people do them on those heads and put the clip-on spinners like a beetle spin. You can buy them in bulk packs of like 25 on eBay all day long. I do that on occasion. There's a lot of ways in which they work pretty good, really. I know that people put them on underspins, Roadrunners and otherwise. The Z-Man's got their own kind, VMC's got their own kind. So I would say if you're looking for something that will give you an edge because of the emotion that you don't have to impart on it because it's already built in, the Eurotackle Finesse Fat Assassin is a great choice. They've got paddle tail style. They've got a range of things. They've got nymphs and all that. But for the cost, they're fantastic. I wanted to get the Finesse series from Northland Tackle. They've got a say Sweet Candy or something like that. It's a series that's really badass looking, and they work. I know they do because I've seen videos. But 5-pack for like $7.99. I mean, I'm getting an 8-pack of these for that. I mean, come on, $3.99 for an 8-pack when a 5-pack of theirs is like almost $9 after tax. It doesn't seem worth it to me. It's almost as insane to me as buying Mega Bass products. They're so overpriced, man. I love Mega Bass. Their Hazdong shad is phenomenal, but after like 3 fish, the body's done. You know, unless you have a screw lock head, and even then they still shred after a while. And for, you know, $10 to $12 for an 8-pack, no. So Eurotackle in general, the brand themselves, I've seen the guys that started it over here. You know, they had it over in Europe, they brought it over here. Their customer service is phenomenal. If you order straight from them, anything after the point of sale, they're very well known for good customer service, and they're still a very small operation. So it's definitely small business. They make high-end stuff for like no cost. I don't know how they make the money, but apparently they do because they stay in business. So take it for what you will. Tomorrow, like I said, slip bobber, drop shot, double hook, size 2, light wire owners. I like the light wires more than the regular finesse series they call them. I don't remember the name. Once I switched to light wire, I was done with that other line. It's a lot thicker of a shank. One thing I did this time though with the owners, the mosquito lights, mosquitoes, the owner mosquitoes. The mosquito lights are the series that I get because of the size of the wire of the hook. They have the sizes I like in a 51 and a 57 size pack for like $14, $15, somewhere in there. It's like nothing for, if you think about for how many hooks you're getting, it's really not that bad at all. So take that for what you will too. I got Star Wars movies ahead of me, so I'm off of here. Let's see what happens tomorrow. If it's yay or nay, I'll post pictures. I won't do a video, but I will post pictures for sure. And y'all have a great night.